If you know the right strategies, you can sell millions of dollars worth of products like this pair of pants that we can buy two of for $14 and sell this exact same thing on Amazon for $35, leaving us with a $7 profit per sale. And I know this is true because I've sold over $6 million on Amazon personally, buying from big websites and selling them back on Amazon. And in this video, you're going to see more specific examples of what good profitable products look like to sell on Amazon, what to avoid, and how to source more profitable products. So let's jump back into the computer. I'm going to break down another specific example of a profitable product just so we can see several examples. I want to show you some mistakes to avoid that's going to be really important. But when it comes to selling products on Amazon, you can sell things in a wide variety of categories. I picked a couple products that I sourced right before this video. Don't worry, I'll show you how I found these products so you can do it for yourself. But taking a look at something like this, it's just a solid name brand product that already sells well on Amazon, sells 100 times a month. To source these products, we're just referencing the data on SellerAmp. And in this example, I can say I can buy these for 24 bucks. I can sell them for 38 bucks. So on this one, we have to get a little bit more creative, not super creative though, right? Because what we need are these coupons that are available right down here. And by the way, these coupons are stackable. Some websites, it's always worth it to just add as many coupons as possible. In this case, they list them right for us on the website. Sometimes I might check a Chrome extension like Capital One Shopping that just archives a bunch of coupons that might be available on this website. But right now I know I can get 20% off and then another 25% off, which makes this previously unprofitable item into a very profitable find, right? So we can buy these for $14.66 and we can sell these for almost a $13 profit per unit. And the other thing I look for in my products to sell on Amazon is a lot of consistency, right? So when I look at the charts on SellerAmp, if you're brand new to Amazon, this probably looks super complicated, but all it is showing me the past demand and the past price on this item over time. The closer this green sales rank line is to 1, the closer it is to the fastest selling item in the category. So every time it drops down, that means it's becoming a faster selling item. And this purple price is showing me what the price is on the item just in general over time. So I can see it's very consistent that this is almost always like a $38 item. So our profit on this item is also going to stay super consistent, right? I can also see the average 30-day buy box price. So the average price when a customer adds this to their cart is 39 bucks. Very solid, consistent profits on this. And I know for a lot of new Amazon sellers who heard about this, want to get into it, that kind of thing, one of the big things that holds them back is getting approved to sell these products. So for example, in this item, you'd probably have to get approved to sell in the health and household category. In order to do that, we can just go ahead and buy 10 units or more from our website here. In this case, we're using VitaCost, which is a legitimate supplier in Amazon's eyes. That's the key. You just need to make sure you're buying inventory from somewhere that is legit. So like this big website here, we'll get that invoice when they email us the order confirmation, and then we'll go ahead and submit that information to Amazon. And if the ungating process is holding you back, I have a full video that shows you how to get past that roadblock. I know that's a big hurdle for some new sellers. It really shouldn't be as big of a hurdle as some people make it out to be though. So if that's tripping you up right now, I got you on that. And when it comes to that or anything else, just let me know if you have any questions down below. So again, let's jump into another example, right? So I can see this is just a very standard polo. I actually found this by just going to the website, hitting the SellerAmp Chrome extension, and then it immediately showed me this item on Amazon. And what's cool about this is that this is 30 bucks right now, plus we can get an extra 25% off when we buy basically like 10 of those, which pretty much always can be buying at least 10 of the products you want to sell. And after we get that little bit of a discount, we can see we're actually able to sell this navy large polo on Amazon for $55, and we are buying it for $22.50. Now I want to get a little more complicated with this one because you'll notice when I scroll down on this item, you can see Amazon actually sells this product a lot. That orange highlighting there is basically showing me that Amazon is on this listing, and a lot of new sellers will completely avoid products like this, and it can be a big mistake, but you got to know what to look for, right? So number one on this, you see how it ships from this random third-party seller and it's sold by a random third-party seller? That's a great sign that I'm not super worried about competing with Amazon. And then I can also see on the buy box pie chart over the last 30 days, it looks like Amazon's actually being out-competed by these other third-party sellers. And this one is even an FBM seller. So they're not even shipping it to the Amazon warehouse. They don't have prime shipping. They're not even taking advantage of all the extra benefits that usually help you get a little more sales on Amazon, which really shows me that we won't have too much trouble making sales on this product. So I said I'm going to get a little more complicated with these examples so you can really just learn something from these. And if you compare that to a product like this, we see how Amazon's almost always on this item. And when we look at the buy box pie chart, they are winning 100% of the sales. They're probably losing like a tiny fraction of them to those guys right there, like less than 1%, these people. So they made like a sale or two. We'd want to avoid something like this where even though it sells really fast, 4,000 sales a month, Amazon's hogging all the sales. So when you're out there hunting for products using the method that we'll break down here in a second, just make sure you're on the lookout for that. It's one of the bigger mistakes I see beginner Amazon sellers make. And on top of clothing and vitamins and all this kind of stuff. You can also sell stuff that's just simple groceries, right? Here is a box of some bougie cereal or something like that. Not exactly sure. But for some reason, people are paying $14 a box for this. Again, don't ask me why people are paying this on Amazon. I'll take it. But you can see we are actually going to buy this for $4.43 again after stacking those coupons right there. And you notice that this profit is a little bit lower than I would typically like to look for. And that is intentional on this item. The reason why I'm okay with that is this is a grocery item, and grocery leads cannot be returned on Amazon. There's a very small fraction of the category that can be returned, but as a general rule, customers cannot return it because it would lead to some health complaints and stuff like that. If anyone ended up getting somebody's returned groceries, it'd be a whole nightmare for Amazon. So on this, the reason why I don't mind it being just a little bit short on profit is because I'm never ever going to have the expenses involved in having a return, right? If we compare that to something like clothes, which yes, obviously are going to have returns. People don't know what size they wear. They want a different color, that kind of thing. We got to make sure that we're pricing in the cost of future returns, which in this case, the profit definitely was. But if you're not sure if you are pricing that in, what you can do is check out all of the fees that you're going to pay on this item and keep in mind the extra fees that you're going to pay, right? So if there's a return on an item, you're going to pay an individual fee just for Amazon doing that return for you. That's usually going to be a few bucks on average. And then you're also not going to get reimbursed the fulfillment fee, which is basically what we pay Amazon to ship the item for us, to take the item off the shelf, to basically pick and pack, right? And that kind of makes sense when you think about it. We paid Amazon to do the work, so we don't get refunded for that, but you got to keep that in mind, right? On this item, if a customer returns it, we would completely lose this $5 fee, and we also would pay that refund administration fee, which again is usually going to be a few bucks. On something like this though, we don't ever have to worry about that. So that's why I'm okay with buying grocery leads with a little bit less profit per unit, or even sometimes a little bit lower ROI than I typically like to look for. Which, by the way, if you're not sure what to look for in a profitable item, I have a full checklist of literally everything I look at in an item in terms of ROI, how fast I want it to sell, just like small kind of nitpicky things that I've learned over the last few years to avoid some really expensive mistakes. That checklist is down below for free. You'll see it in the description. But now that you've seen a couple examples of winning Amazon products, let me show you how I actually found these Amazon products, and then you can go replicate this, do this for yourself, and you'll find a bunch of winning items for yourself. So I want to go back to our first kind of starting example here. The reason why I want to go to this in particular is I noticed that there is a really good sale on this brand today. So what I want to do is say, all right, I know that there's already people successfully selling this brand in particular, and I know that there is a really big sale. So there's probably a lot of buying opportunities in this brand today. So let me just go and look at the storefronts of people who have already successfully sourced this brand. So it looks like this person, almost their entire business is just selling Carter's clothing, which is really interesting. So clearly they've massively figured out how to source from this website. So all I need to do to find winning products for myself is just to start looking up these products and basically see if they had a really good idea, basically. So we go ahead and hit the Google button there. That's going to grab this title and search it for me automatically. And then I can see where I might be able to buy this actual item. So this is interesting, maybe even just 10 bucks at JCPenney right there. We can also see if the brand themselves are selling this. So it seems like that's probably their listing right there. But honestly, I don't know if we're even going to need to worry about that because I think we found some profit right off the bat here. And obviously this would be like a Halloween specific item here. We'd want to buy this and sell this before Halloween, obviously. But see, this is 30 bucks right here. JCPenney has these for $10. So not a bad profit at all there. Let's see. I also saw some of these over here. These are like the kid sizing, and those are the size 12s. That's kind of interesting, right? So literally the first item in their store was decently profitable. We can also see, we already looked at these pants when we were starting the video. So this seller has gotten good at sourcing like these different styles and stuff. So what is this? This is, looks like the green and maybe the black. Let's confirm that. Yeah, black and green. I think that's going to be the green ones right there. Yeah, perfect. So we could just buy one of the greens, one of the black ones, bundle them together for $14. And now we've got another profitable lead here. That's kind of bare basics of how I like to source more of these products. Go to any product that's already selling on Amazon, buy third-party sellers. You guys watching this video, you can start from any of these successful, profitable products we've already shown. Look at what they're selling. Even better if you can figure out in the brands that they sell, are one of these brands on sale. Focus on that, dial in. So I know that's kind of the fast version of what to do, and it's going to take some practice to get good at that. But since you're still watching, I want to give you a major gem. We can actually make a bunch of these products even more profitable. So for example, I can go to cardbear.com and I can look for carters.com. What this is showing me is all the websites that sell discounted gift cards that I can use at the Carter's website, right? So I can go on here and I can see, all right, I might be able to get a 15% discount here. I buy a lot of my gift cards, get some discounts from GCX, so we'll check those out as well. But you can see when I go on here, yeah, so I can get a 15% off gift card. So I'm buying $250 worth of Carter's store credit for $212. See, pretty similar over here, like 16% off. So just because it's a nice big value, it'd be easy. We can go and get that. There's 97 of these in stock right now. When you buy these, they will just email you the gift card number. We'd use that at checkout, and bang, you can immediately increase your margin. Because what we can do now is basically discount how much much we're paying by another 15% because of those discounted gift cards. And now we're almost doubling our money every time this sells instead of a 61% ROI. So it doesn't sound like a huge deal, but if you do that on every single product you buy, if your ROI went up, in this case, by 50%, that's obviously going to make a huge difference over the entire time span of your business, right? Think of all those ways to increase as much extra money as you can squeeze out of your business. And if you're using those margin creation methods, you're getting creative, digging through storefronts, you're just going to have a lot easier time when it comes to building your own Amazon business. And once you have your next profitable product sourced using that method, you're just going to go ahead and list that product on Amazon. You'll do that through a software called Boxem. And that's also how you will ship those products off to Amazon FBA. Make sure those get checked in as fast as possible. Make sure you're saving as much money as possible, and then actually track how much money your business is making. But if you want to see how that shipping process works, I'll leave a link here at the end of the video. If this was helpful, hit that like button, subscribe, help me get 100,000 subscribers here on the YouTube channel. I know it's cheesy, but it really helps me out. And let me know if you have any questions, comments. Always happy to help you guys out down below. And if you're serious about getting dialed in, make sure you also grab 2-week free trials of SellerAmp and Boxem down below. Those will be the softwares you actually need to get going on Amazon. But thanks for watching this video, and go ahead and click this video right here if you want to see how to get these winning products shipped off to Amazon ASAP.